Hey y'all, it's Kelt, and let's talk about the YouTube channel Jubilee. I'm not going to roll a clip this one, so let's get straight into it. If you're not familiar with Jubilee, it is a YouTube channel plus an entire media company back behind it with 10 million subscribers that do debate content. The debates run a few different formats. One of the old styles that they used to do was like panel style debates. 5 atheists debate 5 Christians, and usually they weren't bad talks. People talking and actually exchanging ideas. Not true debates with moderators, but actual discussions. But that's not their most popular style. Their most popular style is a debate format they refer to as surrounded. Surrounded usually goes something like one person who embodies some form of idea and 20 people who embody the different style of the idea. And the surrounded format is always, well, pretty much always political. One member of the Daily Wire cast, Ben Shapiro, Michael Knowles, or Matt Walsh, versus 20 Democrats or liberals. And then they had like Destiny, the omni-liberal, versus 20 Republicans. The issue is they're not actually debates. They're just platforming fascists. Surrounded happens, it's one person in the center, surrounded by a circle of like 20 other people. And the 20 other people have to race for the debate chair. First person in it each round actually gets to debate the host. There's no moderator. There's fact checks that show up on screen from the Jubilee fact checkers, but it's usually just people arguing back and forth and then both sides coming on Twitter and saying that they won. The issue is anytime you actually debate fascists, even if it's not a proper debate, you are giving some form of legitimacy for their ideas, that they are worthy of sitting down and having a discussion against. And these people are literal fascists. Like, you call them fascists, and they don't respond, or they celebrate the fact that you did. Like when Michael Knowles from the Daily Wire was sitting in the middle of the circle, and he stated his famous saying that we need to eradicate transgenderism, aka his belief that we should exterminate trans people. The person debating him stated that she was just going to call him a fascist, and his response was, okay. And that was the reason I created this tweet. Because someone actually sat down, looked at Michael Knowles, who advocates genocide of transgender people, and called him a fascist like she did something. Because yes, I truly believe that if you are going on Jubilee at this point and arguing with fascists, you need to sit out the revolution. You need to take the next 4 years and think about what you did wrong. And that tweet has 100% become evergreen, because every Jubilee debate after that point, someone has referred to another opponent in there as a fascist, and the person being called a fascist just loved it. All Jubilee does at this point is create more right-wing social media stars. The left gets memes, the right gets people who can grift, fundraise money, and increase their social media following. For example, the most recent Jubilee video, what the left got out of it was these memes. That's it. The pundit that spoke was already famous. He didn't get a boost. He got a paycheck, but the left, we got memes. What did the right get? They got a new social media golden boy playing up the tragedy of cancel culture, who just raised $20,000 to $30,000. This guy, Connor, went on to Jubilee, openly admitted to being a fascist, did not argue against anything that the Nazis did, and then claims to have lost his job. So what did the good little capitalist who does not believe in handouts and believes in pulling yourself up by your bootstraps do? He created crowdfunding to get an emergency fund and fix his life that he was supposedly canceled from. And at the time of me looking it up this morning, he had raised, in about 24 hours, $20,000. I haven't looked again, but I've heard reports that that's now up to $30,000. The only issue is there's now reports that he never had a job, that this is all fake and he just created. I haven't been able to verify that or not, but it kind of fits the grift. When we talk about outrage farming, that is what Jubilee is. Jubilee is a platform that allows fascists to come on, get their 15 minutes of fame, and turn it into an outrage grift. Now, I fully feel that Connor does believe everything he said on that debate. He just doesn't feel like he needs to censor it on a platform like Jubilee, because even if he faces quote-unquote consequences for his words, he's on a platform with 10 million subscribers. videos that get millions and millions of views. He knows that his fellow fascists, the fellow right-wingers, are going to back him up. And as we see from his fundraising attempts, they did. They fully backed him up. He's at possibly $30,000 now. What's he going to get to later? That woman in the park who called a black child a slur raised almost $1 million. We need to stop the debate bro culture. This idea that we can sit down and have an actual debate and discussion with fascists. Now, that doesn't mean that we ignore what fascists say. We still can refute their propaganda, their disinformation, and their arguments. We just need to stop giving them our platforms. The only reason that Connor was able to raise this money and to get the increase in his social media that he has was because of the name of the person that he was debating on Jubilee. The people that watched the Jubilee episode that Connor was in and then donated money to him only watched it because they watched it because of who he was talking to. They didn't watch it for Connor. They didn't know who Connor was. They watched it because it was on Jubilee. It's a big channel, 10 million followers. And because they hate the guy that Connor was talking to. They didn't like Connor. They didn't know Connor. They watched it because they wanted to see some right-wing troll dunk on a person they didn't like. They found out of all the people there, they picked Connor to make their social media star. And they are pumping his pockets full of money and social media followers. So on the left, we get memes of a guy who looks like he should be selling monorails to the Simpsons in Springfield because he looks ridiculous. Yeah, I know I'm not one to talk, but that's why I think that I should be able to say that he looks ridiculous. I mean, look at me. I dress like this, and I think that guy looks ridiculous. And the right got a new fascist social media star to further spread propaganda, disinformation, and his hatred that now has a sizable amount of cash that he can use to not have to go back to work, start a social media career, and to continue posting things that help stuff like Trump get elected. And the entire time, the right is still saying that every one of those kids won the debate. So we get memes, they get social media pundits. I'm not the best in economics, but I don't think that's a good trade deal right there. So if you're on the left, I don't care if that means that you're slightly left of center or all the way to communist, and you go on a platform like Jubilee, either as the person in the center or one of the 20 people around, or you invite right-wing pundits like Charlie Kirk into your podcast and help increase their reach, you need to set out the revolution. You need to set out politics. I don't trust you. You can't debate fascist ideology, propaganda, and disinformation. You can debunk it, you can ridicule and mock it, and you can fact check it. But you cannot debate it without giving it legitimacy. So the easy solution to all that, to stop that, is to not platform it, not give it that legitimacy. So, as always, stay vigilant, stay safe, don't platform Nazis. And I love you all. Till next time.